John Mason. How is everybody? Well, the cliche is an independent news media is one of the bulwarks of democracy that we needed to keep the public informed. However, we've seen in the corporatization of news that the news is just another product, another commodity. And these corporations need to get cozy with the elements of the federal government in order to hold their power over us. Like CBS, the Late Show is Stephen Colbert. I love that show. I love Colbert. He was planning to have James Tallarico, the state rep in Texas, who is running for governor of Texas, and the head office calls him and tells Colbert that he can't have Tallarico on the show or even mention him. So that he had the interview with Tallarico, but it was over the show's YouTube channel. And here's a classic cop-out. ABC paid Trump $15 million in a nuisance lawsuit because of the E. Jean Carroll case. And the company could have easily won this case. It's just a nuisance harassment case that Trump put on. However, ABC and their parent company Disney have paid Trump $15 million supposedly to go to Trump's presidential library. Yes, I hope you heard the quote marks. Trump with a presidential library, come on. And as CBS News and their parent company Paramount paid $16 million to Trump over a 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris. It was a frivolous lawsuit. Trump could have won that easily. I mean, not Trump. The company could have won that easily. However, CBS News and Paramount paid the frivolous lawsuit of $16 million to Trump's presidential library. See, they're trying to get. Paramount is trying to acquire another company in Sundance, and they need FCC approval for the merger, and what better way to do it than to pay off the President of the United States? And also, the Gallup polling company, after 88 years, will cease presidential approval ratings. In other words, our news media, there are certain elements of our news media that have lost their backbone. And two things. A, we must command and support those mainstream news media outlets like like MS Now, which used to be MSNBC, and sometimes CNN and all the other media outlets that do stand up to Trump, as well as support local independent news media that doesn't cave into Trump. That's what we need. Backbone. And how can I forget the Washington Post? Jeff Bezos, the wizard behind Amazon, and who's a total space case in more ways than one, owns the Washington Post, and they're firing a good portion of about 300, I believe, of their staff of trained veteran journalists, which means it's going to be a propaganda machine for whatever Bezos says. And all of a sudden, I'm now thinking about Henry Ford. Henry Ford, the great auto wizard, uh, published this weekly newspaper, the Dearborn Independent, which was sold in Ford dealerships. And that's where Ford propagated his anti-Semitic ravings in a series called The International Jew. And Adolf Hitler picked up on it, and he became a fan of Ford ever since. Had Ford's picture in his office, and awarded Ford the Order of the German Eagle. In other words, these corporations are spreading propaganda, and we must hold their feet to the fire. We must get, in other words, we must get the word out, the real word. No, not any of this softened bilge that Trump would approve of. And it's in this, especially in this time, where we have to stand up to Trump. He has this paramilitary force, ICE, is his own personal corps of stormtroops, like Hitler had. And Kristi Noem has announced that the ICE is out to patrol polling stations during the primary elections to intimidate voters. And ICE is supposed to be about enforcing immigration laws, and it has nothing to do with elections. That's all the more reason to have an independent press with a backbone. So support those I urge you to support those mainstream media outlets that do have a backbone and do stand up to Trump, and support independent news media, the kind that don't kiss ass to Trump, and get out there and vote. In Pennsylvania, the primary elections are May the 19th. I don't know what it is in your jurisdiction, but when it happens, get out there and vote. The Republicans paid attention to the elections of last year, which was mostly county and municipal elections and some special legislative elections, and governorships in New Jersey and Virginia, and they'll damn sure pay attention to these midterms. So get out there and vote. And hit the streets like the people in Minnesota. Hit the streets to protest ICE and all the injustices that Donald Trump would foist upon us. And on that cheering note, advertisements. All this work I do on my media is work. The podcast, my blog, my fiction, my poetry, my YouTube channel, all work. And it takes money to run all of this. I pay money to get this material on these platforms, and I need to be compensated for it. And also raise it to a higher level. So, please get on my website, johnomason.com, and click either the PayPal button or the Buy Me a Coffee button and see what you can give. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks. And also, Hemperific is a lovely little CBD product store located on Snyder Avenue near 15th Street in South Philadelphia. There you will find some of the finest cannabis-infused products. Gummies and candies and drinks and teas and lip balm and hand sanitizer. And dog treats. Yeah, dog treats. Look them up, please. HemperificLLC.com. And also, my beloved career and business coach, Michelle Snow. Michelle is excellent in helping you develop your professional career or small business, let you know what you're doing right, where you need work, and help you network with other up-and-coming entrepreneurs and professionals. Please look her up, growwithsnow.com. Okay. Alrighty then. That's the fight we're up against. Keep ourselves informed of the real story, the real news. And when you go vote, act accordingly. Take care. Have a good weekend. Shabbat Shalom. Bye.